wait. Gotta keep on pushing, mama, 'cause you know they're running late. Without love, where would you be now, 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 now? Without love, Stevie. Turning, and the wheels go round and round, and the steel rails are cold and hard for the miles that they go down. Without love, where would you be now, now, now? Without love, without love. Where would you be now?
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Toronto. My name is Tanis Burnett, the announcement lady. Let's get right to it. But first of all, happy St. Patrick's Day. Woo-woo. Wednesday's service, Practicing the Presence, is taking a break until further notice. So no service this Wednesday, but class is continuing on Wednesday, the Foundations of Science of Mind. This Wednesday, March 19th, 7:30 to 9:30, taught by Helen Vallot and Margaret Ann Snyder. You can still register for the class. Previous classes have been archived online, so you can catch up, you can drop in, you can register on the website. If you do drop in, the fee for that is $25 per class. We also have another upcoming class, the Four Agreements, with Reverend Jonathan Zenz, and that will be at the end of April. Stay tuned for more details on that. Next Sunday, we have a very special treat. Reverend James Mellon is coming up from LA to speak here from the Global Truth Center. Jonathan is going down to LA to speak at the Global Truth Center. So they're switching pulpits. So we have Reverend James Mellon next Sunday. So very fabulous, very special. So bring your friends. Let's pack the house, and we will have fabulous, fabulous fun. The women's group will be meeting March 24th at 7 p.m. We will be playing with an experience from the book E Squared, and there's a couple of copies left in the bookstore. And speaking of the bookstore, there is a flash sale today. Everything is 10% off in the bookstore today only. So after service, stampede your way on in. Fundraising events that are coming up. We have a Sondheim Cabaret. It's an evening with Jonathan, Reverend Jonathan, Friday, April 25th from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. He won't be singing that entire time because he would have no vocal cords left. Stand by for further information and tickets. And Shop Your Girlfriend's Closet is back. Woohoo! Sunday, April 6th, 12:30 to 2:30. Seasonal clothing and accessories, please. Price it yourself. If anything is left over, you must take it home with you, or as I said last week, we will make you wear it all the next time you come. And today is spring cleaning day, because spring really is around the corner. Our daughter, if I may take you for a moment, our daughter is in London, England at the moment, going to school. And I talked to her this morning on Facebook. She said, it's 15 degrees here. I said, how nice for you. It's minus 15 here with the wind chill. But spring is on Thursday. Spring is on Thursday. I'm affirming that. Spring is on Thursday. But today is spring cleaning in preparation for spring. 12:30 to 6 p.m., or unless we're done sooner. Clearing and cleaning. Come and help tidy and clear our space. How can you help? Let me tell you. You can take garbage away. If you've got gloves and a duster, bring those. Help organize the office. We will use you with glee today. So stick around, grab some lunch, and come back, and we'll get to work. And last but not least, our practitioners are here on Sunday to know the truth for you. Today, we have Mary Ellen, who's our Snyder. So if you have anything heavy on your heart, please see one of these fabulous women after service and let them know the truth for you. And on that note, I'm going to turn the mic over and the floor over to our fabulous, extraordinary spiritual director, Reverend Jonathan Zenz.
Oh, Tanis, I love you. Good morning. How are you this morning? Are you sure? Okay, because that sounded a little hesitant. How are you this morning? There you go. That's fantastic. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Toronto. My name is Jonathan Zenz, and it's a pleasure to have you all join with us in community here. A couple of things that I wanted to mention. So yes, James Mellon will be here next week. James Mellon was my mentor in ministry, and I'm very excited because we've had this concept of doing a pulpit swap for a long time. What we actually really want to do is do this several times a year and have him and I swap pulpits. But we have also larger ideas in mind about including Mark Anthony Lord from the Bodhi Center in Chicago in this, and start doing a rotation of ministers that brings a lot of fresh energy to every center that we visit. So we have lots of grand plans in terms of how this unfolds, how ministry unfolds, because I'm rethinking my whole experience of ministry and how I approach it. So there you go. All right, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. So those of you who are in Mental Muscle, next Monday, I will have not returned from Los Angeles. But because James Mellon created the program Mental Muscle, he has agreed to be in the chair that morning with you. So that's really exciting. So yes, the cat's out of the bag now. I was going to let it be a surprise, but I figure why? Why? So here we are. We are here at the Center for Spiritual Living, and we come here with one purpose. And for me today, that purpose truly is community, to recognize and know that I am in a spiritual community with like-minded individuals. And even when I am not with people who think they are of like mind, I trust and know that we are actually all of like mind, because ultimately at the base and core of everything is love. And that's what today is all about. It's all about love. It is all about the expression of love in our lives and the expression of Spirit as love. That's what we teach here. Spirit is love. And when we really become aligned with that idea, with that principle, everything flows freely and easily in our lives. Are you on board with me with that?
Yes.
Awesome. Today is also going to be a very different kind of service. We have a lot of new music today. A lot of new music. And we're going to launch off with our choir. So I'm going to invite the choir. I'm going to set some microphones up. I'm going to invite our choir to come up here. Come on up, choir. Okay, I'll grab the other mic. Yes, our two soundboard operators are both in the choir, so now we have to mix ourselves. So this song that we're going to start off with today is a chant. It was written by Lisa Ferraro and Erica Luckett, those of you who know their work. And it's a great way of starting off and just allowing ourselves to get in the flow. So what I invite you all to do is simply allow the resonant tone to fill your soul right here, right now. Just relax right where you are. Recognize that this is the only place you need to be. This is the only experience you need to have right here. There is absolutely nothing that preceded this moment that has any bearing on who you are right now. There is nothing that is coming up that has any bearing on who you are right now. You are the point at which Spirit is creating.
There's only one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. There's only one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. There's only one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. There's only one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. There's only one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. There's only one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. There's only one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. There's only one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. There's only one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. There's only one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. There's only one life, that life is God's life,
that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. There's only one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. There's only one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. Life is God's life, life is perfect, life is my life now. There's only one life. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life. Is my life
Life is perfect, life is my life now. There's only one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. There's only one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. There's only one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. There's only one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. There's only one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. There's only one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now.
So allow that idea, that understanding. I say it all the time. I say it every week. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. That life is your life now. I'm watching Carmen, so we can switch back. There we go. From this place of perfection, from this place of understanding, all creation occurs. We are here to know that we create our own lives. And it is because of that, it is because of that idea that God is all there is, and we are one with expressing as this divine power, that all creation unfolds brilliantly. So here to take us down that road of understanding a little bit more deeply, I'm going to invite to the lectern our practitioner of the day, Mary Ellen Cassie.
Wow, what a surprise. What a surprise to hear those words sung like that. There's nothing else to say. I'm so moved and so grateful. Whew. It's a phrase I use in many of my treatments, but it's also a belief system of mine, a spiritual practice. So, I was reading Phineas Quimby this morning before I came at 6 o'clock, and it was calling attention to the power of our human beliefs in relationship to all our troubles. It's funny how that appeared today for myself to pick that and read, because my talk title today is Scared or Sacred? Yes, I got this while I was in Windsor. So, I mean, you know, spirit is everywhere. And so, oh my God, I was so moved. And, you know, I did a session with somebody on Friday, and when I finished, it was just, those are the words I wrote. Sacred or scared? Scared or sacred? Good talk title. So, what is the only difference of these two words? What is the difference? Rhetorical, wherever Brian is. You have me saying that or looking every time you say something. Now I look to Brian.
And he whispered an answer to me.
I bet he did. Because God is so good to me. So, there's one letter. There's only one letter that changes not only the word's meaning, but it changes the feelings and the beliefs that I am experiencing. I can only speak for myself. So I can continue to stand in the truth. Yes, the absolute truth. I fear nothing. There is nothing to fear when I stand and claim my relationship with the one divine source and supply of all, of everything, of creation. This indwelling presence is within, so what do I choose? What do I choose? Or do I choose wisely or not? The conditions are all about me. So I got brave enough and I asked my grandson if he had any thoughts on being scared. They're hesitant, the two of them. One is 13, one is 7. So my oldest one answers, Austin says, and I did ask his permission, because he does watch us. I asked his permission if I could share what he said to me. So Austin answers me that he is afraid or scared of spiders and insects. Fair enough. I'm not that fond of spiders, but I let them live now. So I posed a question, though, for example. Am I scared? Am I scared of what people, friends, family, and society thinks of me? So I shared with him my answer when I posed that question. And I said, I usually do feel scared when I don't feel good enough about myself, or when I hide that feeling. I don't want anybody to know how that is for me, because I get very small. And out of nowhere, he sat on the couch across from me and he said, well, he was afraid of what people think of him too. Matter of fact, he said big time. Now, I didn't say big time, but if I owned up to how I feel when I'm not enough, I'd say big time too. So the truth of my reality is that there is nothing that needs to be fixed if I really stand in this truth. So you may ask yourself, what are you scared of? And are you ready to stand in the sacred? Keep the mind and body open to the reception of the truth. Let go of doubt, distrust, worry, condemnation, and fear, and lay hold of life in its expression of beauty, truth, and wholeness. Our mental congestion would be healed, says Ernest Holmes. So, and he says that this is what we must do to take time at least once a day to let go of all that is not true and hold on to what is real. The state of mind I desire to stand in or think about, and in fact to live from, is this divine, the causal consciousness. That's the causal consciousness. So I am one with this feeling. Everything is infinite reality. That's the truth. So, I'm not going to say this is not easy, but it is, for me, a lifetime of practice, my spiritual practice. And the key for me is knowing that the Spirit is always creating, never takes a break. You've heard me say it's 24/7 before, doesn't close its door on us. And it's always expressing. And not only is it always expressing, it's always experiencing itself. So what the heck do I have to be afraid of? Really? So the secret of spiritual power lies in a consciousness of one's union, my beloved, with the whole and the availability of the good. God is accessible to all people. My quotes are out of Science of Mind. So I have to ask myself, what's next? What is next? As I continue my studies and things, I do get scared. So when I'm feeling scared, though, it lessens when I first notice that I can observe my thoughts. I can feel that thought, see that thought, even taste that thought of fear. And then I say, wow, how wonderful is that I get to experience all of this. But is that real? And then I might ask, where is it in me that I am either disturbed or stirred? Earlier today during the meditation, there was a sound that sounded like a doorbell, and I thought, God's calling. God is present. Open the door, let God in. God just fills me. And so I thank Carmen for playing that today during our silent meditation. It was like, there's God ringing the doorbell. Am I going to answer the truth, or am I going to stand in a condition? So I can choose to step into the secret, the spiritual power, at this time and at any time. Darn it all, will I ever get this? And I say yes, because there's no power in my negative thoughts or beliefs. There's only the power of spirit, of source. That's what I wish to awaken to, so I can control my thinking. So I also ask myself, who is the I of the I am that I so adamantly believe in? And that is the God consciousness. That is the consciousness that is offered consistently and constantly, not just to myself, but to everyone, globally even. I love that it's global. The universe is always constantly conspiring for my highest and best. What I focus on is what I become. So if I want self-healing, desire self-healing, then focus on my strengths and focus on source. So I end today with my affirmation that I am the incarnation of the One. I am enough. So if I may ask you again to join with me, I am the incarnation of the One. I am enough. Thank you. As I take a breath of connectedness, and I realize that I am one with this infinite reality, I step into and own this causal consciousness. I am one with Source. I allow, yes, I allow and I accept this divine flow of creative intelligence, of wisdom, to flow in and through and be me. I am an individualized expression. And in being expressed, I allow and I experience the divine right here and right now. I am blessed. I step into this wholeness of perfect and completeness, because I take ownership of this oneness, that I am one. I look out into the world, this creation, the creation of all that God is. On the highway, driving home, I see the dogwood start to show its bright red color, and the greens turning yellow and green amongst the snow. And yes, the eagles and the vultures, they're starting to appear down in the southwest. And I am one. That bird has a song, and I have my life to live. And my song is the embodiment that God is and I am. As I continue to remind myself through spiritual practice, I allow this to permeate every cell of my being. It allows me to smile as I am animated as the divine source right here, right now, before you, before the globe, the global universe. I am one in each and every star, in the sun rising and the moon, in the flow of the water down a river. I am that water flowing in the river. As I continue to practice, seeing where God is in everything. I am in every grain of sand, on any beach, amongst the people, walking, sharing, talking. It is everywhere present. It is with a tender and an open heart that I continue to embrace the love and the joy and the peace and the energy, and vibrate and allow all of this energy to flow in and through and show up as me. Yes, even in silence is where I hear, where I listen, where I am divinely guided. I set aside fear, doubts, and I step into this absolute truth, knowing that all is well, all is good, all is God. I release these words to law. I know that it is done immediately. I let it go and I let it be so, and together we say, and so it is, and so it is.
Thank you, Mary Ellen.
Mm-hmm.
Just breathe in that energy. That's a lot of energy. Our featured song of the day is one of my favorites. The first time I was introduced to this particular song was on the occasion of taking my final exam for practitioner studies when I was becoming a practitioner. And it seemed very appropriate, a very appropriate song for that experience. That's all I'm really going to say about it. It's a great song by Daniel Nahmod. What do I do if I'm not chasing anything? What do I do if I've got everything that I need? It's a question that no one's prepared me to answer. Where do I go if I'm right where I'm supposed to be? Where do I go if wherever I am home? It's a question I'm presently wanting to answer. If the usual way doesn't work for me now, that's a void I know nothing about. What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over, what then? What do I say if it's all perfect anyway? What do I say if I'm not here to change anyone? It's a question I truly don't know how to answer. How do I live if my life is eternity? How do I live if I'm no longer afraid to die? It's a mystery, no one can give me an answer. If the usual way doesn't work anymore, there's no map for what life has in store. What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over, what then? What is the purpose of time here on earth? How do I now define my death and birth? For that matter, what is my life really worth in the end? What's mine to give and what's mine to receive? Whom do I worship? What do I believe? Seems every answer comes right back to me in the end. What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over and we're all born victorious. If the race is over, what then? Thank you. Queen Street Band. What if the race was over? We have a special treat. You know, we've been doing this ongoing series with the practitioner students who have been presenting their wisdom and insight, and they've been getting up here and, you know, as your introduction to them. Our practitioner intern, or I'm calling them interns already, our practitioner student, not interns yet, but they will be soon. Our practitioner student for today is not here. No, it's because she is currently residing in Egypt, and she is studying from Egypt, from Cairo. So she has sent us an audio recording of her wisdom that she wants to share with us all. So here, I give you, all the way direct from Cairo, Egypt, Sonia Byrne.
Hello, this is Sonia Byrne, and I have the privilege of presenting Core Concept 4 to you today. As I'm sitting here during Friday prayers in Cairo, Egypt, I'm thinking about how Core Concept 4, or prayer, fits into our lives. According to our Science of Mind philosophy, in the infinite nature of God, all conceivable good is eternally available, ready to flow into human experience. Through some cosmic process, this flow of good is activated and or increased by human belief, faith, and acceptance. The expression of this essential belief, faith, and acceptance is prayer. As a practitioner student, Jonathan requested that we look at other philosophies, faiths, denominations, and being that I'm living and working in a mostly Muslim country at this time, I decided to look at Islam and how Islam views prayer. Within Islam, there are 5 pillars of faith. And pillar number 2 is salah, or performing ritual prayers in the proper way 5 times each day. The other pillars of Islam are shahada, or sincerely reciting the Muslim profession of faith, and this is when someone steps into Islam as a faith following. The third pillar is zakat, or paying an alms to charity. So this is the equivalent of what we do in Science of Mind and through CSL in outreach and helping the community. The fourth pillar is Psalm, or fasting during the month of Ramadan, which I've experienced here and is coming up again about July 3rd this year. The fifth and final pillar is Hajj, or the pilgrimage to Mecca in Saudi Arabia. And as I sit here with this recording, I'm sitting in the presence of a set of prayer beads that were brought to me this week, coincidentally, from a friend who came back from Hajj in Saudi Arabia this week. In terms of prayer within Islam, it is a very regimented type of pillar of practice within Islam, as I see it witnessed here in Egypt. And so it is really an obligation that provides a framework of a Muslim's life every day, day to day. And its purpose is to weave the activities of life within prayer, within their day. And so their beliefs become stronger than a belief and more of a devotion. So carrying out the 5 prayers each day is part of what a Muslim person would do in honoring Islam and honoring their deity, or Allah. So within the prayer obligation, there's also 5 prayers each day. I do get to see these and witness them. I can't actually get away from them. They're a part of my life now here each day, because the Fajr, or the dawn prayer, goes off at the very light of dawn each day, which right now comes in around between 4 and 5 o'clock. By the time we hit Ramadan, it will be about 2:30 to 3 o'clock in the morning, where people will pray and then begin to fast until the 5th prayer of the day, or the Isha, the sunset prayer during Ramadan. In looking up the concept of prayer within Islam, the Fajr, or the dawn prayer, was actually described beautifully from the Quran, the holy book. So I wanted to give you that description. So the words within the Quran are, for the sounding off of the dawn prayer: until the white thread becomes distinguishable to you from the dark thread of dawn. The prayer ends at sunrise and will be happen again, will actually be portrayed in the reverse at the end of day, where the last thread of daylight is seen until the dark thread comes forward. And it's a beautiful way of describing prayer. I'll end my part of core concept 4 explanation with a personal note, in that when you see people pray 5 times a day, you realize that it could be a matter of deep, deep faith and also a sense of obligation. And in being here in the last 2 years, and particularly these 2 years in Egypt's history, I can also see it be utilized within the government, within the military, and within communities to unite people for good, and to unite people just to unite people against a cause. So seeing something so beautiful as 5 prayers a day play out in all range of possible ways has been very informing to me. And I joke about being in Egypt, that the time that I'm spending here, I will never be the same. Part of it is seeing this deep, deep obligation of prayer. So I began to personalize this, and I'm big on gratitude. So whenever I would hear the prayer sound off, I would stop for a moment and think of what I'm grateful for. And so it can actually become, over time, just a background noise, and it can go off at 4:30 in the morning, and I don't hear it now because I'm just so used to it, which I can't believe, from how alarming it was when I first arrived here, to be woken up so early by a prayer sound that rings out on loudspeakers across the entire city in Cairo. So now what I do is I've reinvigorated this connection. So I will either think of something I'm grateful, or use it as an opportunity to practice our spiritual mind treatment, which as practitioner students, we always enjoy the opportunity to practice that, because it's something that we're called to do regularly, and something that is a deep part of giving service in the role of practitioner. So as I continue to live in this environment and witness and view prayer, I also realize that because I can take these prayer times, these 5 times a day, and turn them into something that matters to me, that while something like prayer can be used as a divisive tool in a country that's in a tumultuous situation, it can also be such a uniting tool. And I feel that in my time here, that I'm able to use spiritual mind treatment and spiritual practices while people are looking for an alternative here and wanting to hear how other people think and what different philosophies are out there. And I realize, of course, that we're not all that different. And when I talk with people, we're not all that different. So I feel a great openness here now, and a consideration for what people view as other world religions, and a lot of curiosity. It's a very, very interesting time to be here, especially as a practitioner student. So I'll end there, and I am traveling through Toronto in a few weeks, so I'll get to see people on the weekend, April 20th at service. And for those of you that I know, I'm so looking forward to seeing you. And for those of you that I've not met, I so look forward to meeting you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your time. Namaste and masalama.
So for those of you who are here for the first time, this is actually a very unusual service for us. I don't usually play 10-minute audio recordings. But I thought that was what she had to offer, I think is brilliant. Because what it calls to mind for me today is, what is our personal relationship to prayer? What is your personal relationship to prayer? What do you believe to be true about prayer? Rhetorical question. So we are working our way through the 10 core concepts of the science of mind philosophy. This week is core concept 4, as she mentioned, and I will read it. In the infinite nature of God, all conceivable good is eternally available, ready to flow into human experience. Hear that. All conceivable good is ready to flow into human experience. All of it. Through some cosmic process, this flow of good is activated and or increased by human belief, faith, and acceptance. Really important to, there's a little word in here that probably goes by a lot of people. I'm going to highlight it. Through some cosmic process, this flow of good is activated and or increased by human belief, faith, and acceptance. You can increase this flow of good in your life. Most of us are putting blocks up. And then it ends with this. The expression of this essential belief, faith, and acceptance is prayer. And he uses the word prayer. Now, we have come to this understanding that we have this very clinical term that we use. We call it spiritual mind treatment, which, fine, I call it treatment. I use the terms interchangeably. When we teach differences between what is commonly considered prayer and what we understand as spiritual mind treatment, we do teach that there are some differences depending on how you approach the practice. What we do believe is that if you are praying as God, you are in spiritual mind treatment. If you are praying to God, you are in a different form of prayer. The expression of this essential belief, faith, and acceptance is prayer. What is your relationship to prayer? So week 1 of the 10 core concepts, God is all there is. Week 2, God is threefold or triune in nature. That means that there are expressions of God, spirit, soul, body. All the same thing, but how is it expressing itself in terms of creation? Week 3, the Word creates. The Word, which is your spiritual understanding of this divine power. Not word meaning language, but your relationship to God. The Word creates. And so this week, we utilize the Word specifically through prayer. So we continue through these 10 weeks, paring it down to gain understanding and to come to a deeper expression and allowing a deeper expression of God. And I use that word, right? I still have people who come up and say, I just don't like when you use the G word. Because a lot of people do come to this philosophy with the idea that God is something to be feared. God is not to be feared. God is who each and every one of us is at the level of our experience and expression of it. God is who you are. You are the pure, beautiful expression of a divine power that is love. So we pare it down to gain understanding, stripping away old ideas to establish new thought, which is the parent idea of what we refer to in the specific philosophy within New Thought that we teach, which is the science of mind or religious science. Within the New Thought paradigm is also unity, divine science. And, So these first 4 weeks set up the foundation for prayer, the active use of spirit in our lives. And what is important to me is that we all begin to embody an effective method for prayer, one that actually works in our lives. Effective prayer is what it's all about. allowing God, not supplicating and begging God, but allowing God to flow through us and show up in divine expression, as it always does, whether we're aware of it or not. It is showing up. Let's begin to, as he writes, increase the flow of good by our human belief, faith, and acceptance. How do you pray effectively? Well, it goes back to how we started the service. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. That foundation sets up the flow of good in your life. That's the truth. It certainly has changed my life. It is absolutely, like, I can't even tell you how actually, so I was having a chat before the service about my time when I lived in New York City. I lived in New York City from 1997 to 2000. And I talked about how, you know, first of all, I was not in this philosophy. I was there to be a big Broadway star, right? And how did that work out? Clearly, I was not in the flow. There was something blocking it in my life. Now, I did not understand my relationship to this divine creative power at that time. So this is how it's shifted my life, is when I came into this philosophy and said, oh, there's an underlying feeling that I've always believed this. Now I get to actively use it because I'm learning tools to use it. So the tool, prayer. The tool, prayer. Ernest Holmes writes, the prayers which are effective, no matter whose prayers they may be, are effective because they embody certain universal principles, the core of which is there's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. That life is your life now. There is nothing else. Ernest Holmes also writes, effective mental treatment, so here he uses mental treatment, and I put in prayer, because let's just call it prayer today. Effective prayer is propelled, I love this, by a consciousness of love. It's propelled by a consciousness of love. We teach two things in this philosophy, and only two things, even though I'm spending 10 weeks breaking it down. We teach only two things, love and law. Love is the self-givingness of spirit from a desire to create. And it gives of itself to itself, creating from itself as itself. Because there's nothing but God. There is nothing but love. That may sound very confusing. It's all creation. Yes, it's all creation. It is constantly unfolding as your life. Now you can either stop the flow, and we can do a pretty good job of stopping the flow. There's something that you said in your talk. I need your words. I do this sometimes. I get a little crazy. There's something you said in your talk. Oh, I know what it was. Something about the negative thoughts that I have don't have power. They do. I'm going to take issue with that. Your negative thoughts do have power. Do you know what they have? They have the power that you give them. And if you give them power, I guarantee you it's going to show up in your life as things that you don't want to experience. That's why we strive all the time to get rid of the story that no longer works for us and step into the new. And always step into that optimism. You know, we are infinite optimists, aren't we? There have been experiences that I've had in other centers where people walk in and they say, these people are too happy, I can't stay here. Yeah, they want to fix. They want a pill to fix whatever's going on in their life. What it boils down to is there is nothing that is going to fix anything in your life except retraining your thought so that you do have that optimistic viewpoint, so that you do approach everything from that place of love. No one here can fix you except you. When you embody love, you're fixed. And I'm talking about the true embodiment of love. It goes down to a core belief system. Do you believe in love? Is love at the core of everything that you experience in your life, truly? What can you bring to mind in this moment that you can point to that says, that's not founded and grounded in love? Here's your opportunity, not to try to change that thing, but to change your relationship to it in mind. Because I guarantee you, when you change your relationship in mind to it, that thing will transform itself into something that you choose and want and desire and require in your experience. And the way that that happens, so I said there are two things we teach, right? First one is love. The second one is law. The law of cause and effect. For everything that shows up in your life, every effect in your life, there is mental cause behind it. We believe the only cause is mental cause. Now, we can point to things very scientifically and say, well, this thing over here showed up, and so it naturally flowed that this showed up over here. The only reason that showed up over there is because you allowed that to filter through your own mental cause for that to show up. It's what we, wow, I'm really getting deep into the philosophy today. That's what we call secondary causation. When we allow the circumstances of our life to run willy-nilly through our use of this creative consciousness and show up as other things that we may not want to experience. Now, it works both ways, too. Because as we increase the good in our lives and we see the good in our lives, that becomes secondary causation to create more good in our lives. Which side of the equation do you want to be on? I have encountered people who pray from a consciousness of fear. That's the praying to something. Praying, please take this something away from me so that I no longer experience it. Rather than stepping into, I am the embodiment and abundance of the universe in pure, perfect divine health. I express as God because that is who I am. I am the expression of God as me. Fear begets fear. Love begets love. It is that simple. So one of the ways that, I actually wrote, I'm like, example. I wrote an example. People who praying from the basis of fear. So the example is, they fear lack in their lives. And so they're praying to eliminate lack. I need a practitioner student, Judy. They don't know that I'm going to call on them at any moment. What is the spiritual, actually I should give you a microphone. Judy, here we are. What is the spiritual truth about lack?
The spiritual truth is that I am God's perfect abundance.
That's right. That's what needs to be embodied. You get an A. You get an A. Rather than praying to eliminate lack, pray to embody the understanding that you are infinite abundance. Because that's what will shift your mind into creating infinite abundance in your life. Ernest Holmes writes this, prayer is a mental approach to reality. It is not the symbol, but the idea symbolized that makes prayer effective. It is not that thing out there, but the idea in mind that makes prayer effective. This is what we refer to as a mental equivalent. It's one of those jargony terms. Mental equivalent is simply the idea in mind that is showing up in your experience. That's all. That's all you really need to know. So what are you impelling the creative source to do in your life? Are you simply recreating circumstances that you don't want to experience? Or are you setting in motion a new cause to create a new effect? Today, free your mind from the shackles of circumstance. Because can we be shackled by circumstance? Oh, boy. Boy, oh, wow, yeah. I'm just kind of getting lost in that for a minute there. I'm like, because I did that. I did that for so long. Also, hear this. Do not live under any assumption that you don't know the solution to whatever problem you're experiencing. Do not live under the assumption that you do not know the solution to any problem you are experiencing. So first of all, let's turn problems into, it's one of those things we do. Let's not call them problems, let's call them opportunities. Right? Inherent in the concept of the problem is the solution, because the problem would not exist unless there was a solution to the perception of the problem. You get that? Problems do not actually exist. It is simply our relationship to the thing out there that we call a problem. And so if we want to change the thing out there, we must change our relationship to that thing. That all happens in mind. Love is the answer. That's it. Love. Love is the answer. Wow, do I? Yes, okay, so I have to, because, I'm having this moment in front of you that none of you understand. Love, exciting and new. That is literally what came to mind when I said love is the answer. And then, the funny thing is that also shows my age. Love. Love is the only causative energy. I heard somebody say he's a baby. No, so I have to tell you, so I had this experience. Do you remember the show Queer as Folk? It was on about 10 years ago. So I was, all right, so here I go. I'm about to. So I've been trying to meet people online, if you know what I mean, right? Like, I've been putting myself out there because I have a lot of people who are rooting for me to find a partner. So I've been doing the online thing. Anyway, I was chatting with this person online who then told me how old he was. And I said, well, he said, so what are you up to? I said, oh, I'm watching Queer as Folk. And I said, it's very interesting because it's like a little time capsule, because of course it was shot here, And so I'm like seeing Toronto from really 15 years ago when the series starts. And he says, yeah, that really is an old show. I said, yeah, no, I Love Lucy is an old show. The Honeymooners is an old show. Queer as Folk is not an old show. It is, it's all relative, right? Yeah, he was 21. And I said, well, thank you very much. I'm glad you find older men attractive, but this is not going to happen. Where the heck was I? Brian, I'm off on my tangents again. Love is the answer. Love impels the creative source. Love is the great causative energy. Love impels, fear repels. Where do you want to live? Where do you want to live? In honor of what Sonia brought to share with us, I'm going to say, let's up the ante this week. I'm giving you all an assignment. I'm not going to check up on you. But let's up the ante. Really take a good look at how you embody prayer in your everyday life, because nothing means anything within this philosophy unless we are teaching practical tools to incorporate it into life. You can come here on a Sunday and feel really great. Yeah, I feel really great. And I leave on Sunday and I go out to the TTC and oh my gosh, all these people and everything sucks. And, You're the one who's making that decision. Up the ante this week. Recreate your relationship to the circumstances that you're experiencing and understand and see everything from that viewpoint of love. And begin to understand that your thinking, your belief, your word has power in your life. And understand that as you experience your day, as you go about telling your story, that is creating. As you go about thinking some idea, that is creating. Everything is creating in your life. Everything. Because creation is constant. It never stops. It never stops. That was core concept number 2. Creation is ongoing, infinite, never ceasing. You are always creating. What are you creating right now? What are you creating this week? Up the ante. You know the solution to every problem. That's the truth. The solution to every problem is love. So step into that place of embodiment of the idea that you are the creator of your life. You are extraordinary, not because I say so, but because it's who you naturally are, the extraordinary expression of God. That's the truth. Namaste. Need more water. So as we step into our time of divine givingness, I invite you to take whatever it is you offer the center today in terms of a financial gift, commitment, your tithe, your investment in the center, whatever you call it. Recognize that that too is God expressing in a specific way, and that that expression of God goes to support this center and the work that we do. And I will tell you, more information is going to be coming about the trip to Guatemala in May. If you are interested in going to Guatemala with me, let me know, because we can work out those details. I also want to start a drive, because I'm going to get a list together of the items that I can take with me when I go to Guatemala, and we can do a drive here for those things. But that all aside, whatever you offer the center today, please understand, grounded in love. That's the truth, and it supports this center and grows this center. And we're going to do a fairly new offering song. We've done this song once before when the original recording artist was here. The woman who wrote the song, her name is Karen Mitchell. The song is called My Good. It's on page 32 of your songbooks if you want to follow along. And get up, dance, stretch, enjoy.
My good is my God is my good. All the good there is belongs to me. My good is my God is my good. All the good I seek belongs to me. That's my truth with a capital T. It's all about living free. My good is my God. My God is my good. I have all I ever need. My good is my God. My good is my joy. My joy is my good. All the joy there is belongs to me. My good is my joy. My joy is my good. All the joy I seek belongs to me. That's my truth with a capital T. It's all about living free. My good is my God. My God is my good. I have all I ever need. My good is my God. 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 My good is my God.
And I will invite Mary Ellen to do a blessing over our offering.
Yes, and here we are. Here we are in this divine moment, this precious moment. And we graciously receive these gifts, the bounty, the abundance, the joy, the infinite love that is right here in each and every one of us. And we take all this goodness, and it doesn't get stale. It goes into immediate action. it is taken and used and put out into the universe. And it touches lives, lives with love, love in our hearts. It graciously leaves right here, right now. It is a better world. We are all in this together. I release these words to law, knowing it is done. Today is a new day. The gifts are new. We are in newness with every breath. I release these words. I say it is so. And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you. I want to thank everyone who makes this service possible. You know, it is not a one-man show, as much as I would like it to be. No, I'm only joking. No, that one-man show is coming up in April. No, I want to thank Carol and Judy, who are board members on duty today. Thank you for your service. I also want to thank Christina and Toby, who are setting up today. Jim and Lynette, our greeters, thank you so much. In the bookstore, Margaret Ann today, remember we have our 10% off flash sale in the bookstore today, 10% off everything. I want to thank Lucy for coming in and cleaning yesterday. Grateful to you. Yes, 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 yes. I want to thank Carmen and Carrie, both in the sound booth, for your service today. I want to thank Tony on our webcast, ensuring we get out to the web world. The web world. Yes. I want to thank our practitioner of the day, Mary Ellen. Thank you so much for your wisdom and inspiration. Let's also send a warm thank you to Sonia Byrne, who's in Egypt. Thank you, Sonia, for your brilliance and sharing with us. The Queen Street Band. And I also want to thank our choir. And I'm going to invite them to join me again. I want to thank all of you for being here. I want to thank you for the consciousness that you bring. I want to thank you for your expression of community and love in all the ways that we express in this world. This center, to me, is the most important thing in my life. Not because it's my job, but because of you. Because of what you bring to me and what you mean to me in my life. The consciousness that you share with me, the love that you share with me, it really, I can't tell you how deeply it affects me and how grateful I am to each and every one of you. So thank you for being here. This song, I have a very emotional attachment to. This was actually the very first song I ever learned when I joined the choir at the NoHo Arts Center for New Thought nearly a decade ago. And unlike our service, they sing the same songs every week. They've actually moved this out of their canon for the time being, but I sang this song every week for 6 years. And I watched as the woman who sang the lead vocal on this went through the experience of pregnancy and having a child. You didn't know this, did you? And when you think about the song, Hands of Grace, you're held in the hands of grace. When she gave birth and she came in and she sang this song with that child at her chest, I was a goner. What I will invite you to do in this experience of this song is simply relax right where you are. Take whatever it is that you have heard today that resonates with you. Let it be the point of creation in your life this week. I would never claim to know or force upon you any idea. That's for you. That is for you to decide. It is for you to believe. And your beliefs are done unto you. Your life shows up according to your beliefs. It is done unto you as you believe. So relax. Take a breath. We are held in the hands of grace,
forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. And so right here in this moment, I affirm and know this one divine presence, this love is creating as our lives. And so I allow it to unfold in perfection, knowing that God is good. I am grateful, and I allow this to show up as together we say, and so it is. We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. We are held in the hands of grace. Thank you. Our choir. Yay! And so we're going to end the day today as soon as Carmen gets back to the soundboard. We are going to end the day today with Let Your Love Flow. It's on page 14 of your songbook. Please feel free to stand and dance and jump around. And I encourage you all to have a fantastic week. 1, 2, 3, 4.
There's a reason for the sunshine sky. There's a reason why I'm feeling so high. Must be the season when the love lights shine all around us. So let that feeling grab you deep inside. Send you reeling where your love can hide, and then go stealing through the moonlit night to the lovers. Like a mountain stream, and let your love show. In the smallest of dreams, and let your love show. And you'll know what I mean, that season. Let your love fly like a bird on a wing, and let your love find you to all living things, and let your love shine. And you'll know what I mean. That's the reason. There's a reason for the warm, sweet nights. There's a reason for the candle light. Must be the season when those love lights shine all around us. So let that wonder take you deep in space, lay you under. It's love and embrace, just feel the thunder as it warms your face. You can't hold back. Come on, everybody. Just let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love grow with the smallest of dreams, and let your love show. And you'll know what I mean. It's the season. Let your love fly like a bird on a wing, and let your love find you to all living things, and let your love shine. And you'll know what I mean. That's the reason. with the smallest of dreams and let your love show. And you'll know what I mean, that's the season. Oh, let your love fly like a bird on a wing, and let your love find you. Do all little things